Thank you. You heard all these testimonies talking about the continuation of the impunity, the violations, the heinous crimes that are committed in broad daylight, quite often on camera, and nothing happens. It's that impunity that must be drawn, the attention of which must be drawn to the whole world, and that the whole world must start demanding for action, for accountability of all the abusers that have caused this. And I have said that this is indeed the latest wave, the wave of abuses of 2020 going forward. But as Dr. Mona presented in the keynote address this morning, the waves of human rights abuses that have taken place in Uganda before this one are many, in fact, have been continuous. You were told about the abuses that started in the 60s, shortly after independence. The abuses that happened in the 80s. They are in the 70s, of course, during Idi Amin's time, which is still the most noted abroad. They don't know that they have been by far superseded since. There are far more vicious means roaming the streets of Uganda. And so, this is just the latest wave. Indeed, some of us, I never set out to be in politics or even to be an activist. I was a medical doctor. The last time I've been telling people, I came to Nairobi. I went to the bush from Nairobi here where I was working as a medical officer. But that was after I had gone through hell and been back in Uganda to escape in 1981 and come to Nairobi. Most of the people I was with in jail in 1981, and these were prominent people, most of them. We were held in what is now the International Conference Center. Many of the people I was with in jail have never been seen again, included an ambassador, a magistrate, some prominent farmers and so on. They have never been seen again. So the waves of violence, the waves of abuses have been going on at their ends. And that's why, in fact, in our region, we must focus on Uganda. Because Uganda's abuses have also been internationalized. If we don't solve the problems in Uganda, this region will never settle. Uganda is a soul, not just for ourselves, but for the whole region. So since independence, it is Uganda. We've been talking about 60 years of independence. Since independence, it was last month when we celebrated 60 years. In all these 60 years, leaders have already entered leadership brought by bombs, not by the people of Uganda. Ugandans have never taken a leader out of office. Never. Only bombs have removed leaders of Uganda. And only bombs have brought leaders into the leadership. It means Ugandans simply have no voice. They have never brought a leader, they have never taken a leader, they have no say on how they are led. no power, totally powerless. And this powerlessness, of course, did not happen since 1962. The powerlessness started for the whole of Africa on colonization, when foreign forces took over the power of our people, power to belong to their countries. None of our countries was a country by determination of its people. Kenya is not Kenya because Kenyans wanted it to be Kenya. Kenya was formed by non-Kenyans. Uganda was formed by non-Ugandans. And the Ugandans, those who live within the territories that are called Kenya or Uganda, became subjects, not citizens. We became subjects of the Queen of England. We lost our citizenship, our power to decide, our rights, our freedoms as citizens were lost. The struggle we have in Uganda, therefore, is not a struggle for leadership. We have no country to lead it. Citizens have no power. And that's why when you hear people say our power, people power, they have no power. That's the struggle. The struggle first and foremost is struggle to get power. For citizens to have a voice, to have influence in their own countries. And unless citizens have power and influence and can determine who leads them and how they are led, the abuse of these rights will not end. As long as the guns reign, the abuse of rights will not end. It can only get worse. And so the question we must ask ourselves, even as we gather here in this unique and wonderful space, is how do we then get back our citizenship? How do we become citizens again with a full range of rights and freedoms, that we have an equal voice and equal opportunities in our country? How does it happen? It will not happen by the allowance, by those who captured our countries, allowing us to have a voice, allowing us to have freedom. It will not happen. And we are inspired by the people of Kenya. And I salute you, Honorable Martha Karua, people who have been in the trenches here in Nairobi. People who have been in the trenches and fought to end one-party rule in Kenya. It took many people's lives. It took many people's sacrifices, prisons, injuries like you've seen here. There are many people, there are many casualties in Kenya through the struggles. And yes, some people, sympathize with me and say, you have suffered a lot. Like indeed, we must sympathize with all these victims. But we should not forget that we are the lucky ones, those who have been attacked and are still talking. The greatest majority of those who have made sacrifices can no longer talk. They are dead. And that's why we have no right to give up, to betray the dead. That's why it's our duty to make sure that we regain citizenships of our countries. We regain the power of our countries. And it will take two things to happen for our citizens to regain their citizenship. First of all, we must work over time to change their minds that have been enslaved, to liberate their minds, through both talking to them and providing the right examples. We must show them that yes, it's possible to stand up against these despots, that we can stand up with. And so, when we are here, seeing that indeed it's possible in Kenya, where it would not have been possible some time back for this conference, the people in Uganda must take courage and know that yes, we shall hold the next conference in Uganda.
Yes!
So we must awaken all our citizens to their duty to assert their will to become citizens. Because, sometimes many people ask me, but how are we sure that you basically saying all these things, if you got power, you will not do what the other ones have done? There is absolutely no guarantee. Museveni used to say these same things. We believed him, that's why we followed him to the bush. We didn't know the Museveni inside. That there was, somebody in a sheep's skin. But there was a real leopard inside there. You'll never know, except God is the one who sees the hearts. The guarantor for democracy, the guarantor for people, for leaders doing what people want, must be the power within the people to cause them to do what they want. And if they don't, they must have power to do the wrong. Leaders will do what they must do because once they know that if they don't, those whom they are leading have power to throw them out, have power to sanction them. If they know you can do nothing, they will do whatever they want. Or those who act properly will be simply doing so on their own volition because they are good people. But we shouldn't just leave it to the individual goodness. Leaders must do what the people want, and if they can't, the people must have the power to cause them to account. Accountability happens when people have power, not when leaders are good. Whether you are good or not, you must account to the people. So we must wake up the Ugandans. But secondly, having woken up Ugandans, the struggle to overcome those that have captured our countries, hold all power, hold all our wealth, because they control our rights, they control all our wealth. They can use our money to do whatever they want. In order to overcome them, all of us who are captives must unite and face the problem, all of us together and advance hand in hand. We must advance hand in hand, all of us facing. And once we do so, nothing will stop us. And we should build that spirit right here. Struggle for freedom is not partisan. You cannot struggle for freedom as, this party, that party. No, we must all be a party of the oppressed against our oppressors. And, here there are many parties, the People's Front for Transition, which as you heard, come from, consists of quite a number of political parties, including the representatives, the party that was in power at independence, Uganda People's Congress. And we have one of their leaders here, the Honorable Isha Oto. There he is.
People power.
The party of independence used to say, everybody, all of us, you and me. Yes, it can't work as just UPC. We have here the Justice Forum, JEMA. The Secretary General of JEMA is here, the Honorable Katerega, Ahmad Katerega, is stepped out. Yeah. We have people from the Democratic Party. Seems my voice is a bit of a problem for this. Yes, so I think I must conclude my remarks. Really to reiterate my thanks to the Kenya Human Rights Commission, the National Unity Platform, for creating this space, but that we must come out of here not just lamenting, sympathizing with ourselves and our suffering. This suffering is still more suffering ahead, far more. As I have said, this is the latest wave. When we were in the bush, 5 years we were in the bush with General Montu, 500,000 people died. 500,000 Ugandans died. And their skulls are now piled in monuments in the war area. Those are the victims we are talking about. They are littering the whole of our country. So we have no time to lament, to sympathize with ourselves. Yes, we must use this platform to call on the international community to do its role, to stand with the people of Uganda. We don't want them to replace us. Our freedom and our rights is our primary responsibility of the people of Uganda. But the international community has a duty to stand with us against the oppressors and the abusers of rights in Uganda. And many are still romanticizing with the criminals that lead our country. And we must call them out. We must call them out to stand with the people of Uganda. And this is the platform to do so. So thank you very much. Thank you, Kenya, for leading the way. Thank our brothers and sisters in Kenya for showing the way. You are not out of the woods yet. You are not out of the woods, Kenya's democracy hasn't yet been consolidated. Anything can happen to it. And some dangerous signs are already popping their head. You heard of a leader who was saying term limits should be removed. Those kinds of voices must be hit on the head at the beginning so that we know what happened. Thank you very much, and may God bless all of you. Thank you. Thank you.